everybody. How's everyone doing? So it's time to strategize, re-strategize. It's time to grow. It's time to brand. Thank you so much for taking the time out to join me here today on Mondays with Meena. Not sure if you read my post earlier today, but I'm a little nervous today, but let me first start with the excitement part. So I'm extremely excited because yesterday we had this amazing networking event. Destination CEO had edition 2. So second time we brought together these phenomenal leaders, mentors of Destination CEO who volunteered their time to give back to the community. It was also Eid, so everybody was celebrating, and we were celebrating together. It was my parents' 50th golden anniversary. God bless them in heaven. Hopefully they're there. Yes, of course. But you know, the most important part of the whole event was the part of giving back. Ever since I was a kid, my mom had these values in me that on every special occasion, on every special day, we should do something to give back. And usually it used to be going to the temples, going to the Gurdwara, and you know, making food, serving, doing community service of some sort. To be, I've been doing it since I can remember walking. So, and been watching my parents doing that. And so yesterday, to celebrate them, I organized this event, and many of you showed up to this event. The mentors came in to give back their time, but all of you that showed up yesterday made me feel that I did something good. You shared your stories, you shared your challenges, you shared the struggles that you're facing, and you know, our entire team hopefully were able to give you some answers. Now, many years ago, 2015, I wrote a book, and it's called Beyond the Traditional Way of Job Search in the GTA. It was focused around the Greater Toronto area, and you know, I started writing articles and stuff and posting excerpts, and my friends from different parts of the world started using the same analogy and the same methods of job search, and started their own career journeys in different parts of the world. And that really leads me to what I'm about to share today. I'm about to share a chapter from my life where I was naive. I just come to Canada. I mean, I'm talking about naive to the level that I didn't even know. Before we applied, I didn't even know that there was a country called Canada or anything like that existed. But here I am, 21 years later, talking to all of you and bringing the community together and hosting events. But, you know, especially during these times where most of us are stuck in our homes, everybody's talking about social distancing and how it's affecting your mental health. I want to take you back in time where mental health, due to social distancing, but not because there was COVID, not because there was a pandemic, but because there was hurt, there was pain, there was the scare of coming to a new country. There was that fear of not knowing anybody. There was that bruised ego, if I may say, or the hurt of being rejected constantly. I know that many of you have reached out to me, and you know, you've seen my story about my winter coat, and hopefully maybe next week or in the next couple of weeks, I'll share that story again with you live over here. But you've shared with me that you're feeling many of those emotions because of employment. So 20 years ago, when we were thinking of coming to Canada, and we were coming to Canada because of the fact that we couldn't stay in Dubai forever, and home for my husband and home for me were two different countries that were always at war. And not going into that right now, but we decided to come here to be together as a family, to raise our kids in a neutral country where they will be respected and they will be cherished and they will be appreciated. They'll have a life. Landing in Canada, November 1999. Yeah. Mid-20s. That's how old I was, with almost 2-year-old. And, like, it was November, it was cold. We had to come in a rush because of numerous reasons. So I wasn't really happy. I came from Dubai, and I came from a very large community, and then we came to Canada, and it was a small apartment. It was just the three of us, and it wasn't pleasant. And my husband started looking for a job. Like most of you, there are so many resources out here to help new Canadians, newcomers, new immigrants, new grads right now. But in those days when we came, I didn't even know these things existed. Then we went to apply for the Canadian visa. Our lawyer was, he painted this beautiful picture of the land of dreams. And, my husband had so much education, and I had entrepreneurial background, and we're not going to have a problem. And Canada needs people like him with this education. And he was a journalist in Dubai. He worked for a very reputable, actually, one of the #1 newspapers in Dubai. And we didn't expect that we're going to face troubles until we landed. And even when we landed, we didn't think it was going to be that difficult until he started looking for a job. So that excerpt I put today in my post was quite a bit of a shocker. It was point of breakdown. It was February of 2000. And I was home, and he called me, and he said, you tried doing the call center job. Like most newcomers, we try to gravitate to what we get the fastest, what is the easiest way to get a job. That time focusing on, tell him, like, honey, why don't you apply for a job in a newspaper, or, use your journalism skills and try to reach out to Toronto jobs, actually. Toronto Star, Toronto jobs. I'm thinking of Mark today. And he would always say, you know what, let me get some experience. Let me get better, and then I'm going to reach out to those big newspapers. And I'd say, okay, he knows what he's doing. So the fastest, the easiest job that he got, he has great communication skills, was working in a call center. Now, you don't really know my husband, but he's one of those quietest guys who is extremely introvert, phenomenal person, amazing. It does not like answering the phone, does not like being on the phone. So for him to be in a call center, it was a bit challenging. But what was even more challenging was, we grew up in a culture where there was a lot of respect, and we came from a country that gave us a lot of respect. So suddenly here we're calling people to sell, which was completely out of his nature. But we were getting people hang up. He was getting people hang up on him. He was being abused on the phone, and it wasn't a pleasant experience. So he thought, maybe people can hang up on you and be rude on the phone, so maybe you'll try something else. I mean, at the end of the day, we wanted to make a living. Yeah, sure, we had We had a nest egg, right? We came in with money. We did pretty well in Dubai, so we had quite a bit of money when we came. But if we start using the savings, and like most of you shared with me that I'm using my savings, I'm using the money that I have, I need to start working. So if we have the same thought process, if we start using that money, we're not going to have, we're not going to have enough, or whatever, we're going to run out. So we decided, okay, he went to do a door-to-door salesperson job. And that time, he got his first job with a company that sold security systems. So he'd go door-to-door, knock at the doors, and try to sell security systems, completely against his nature and personality and everything. His mindset was that people will be nice to him, except that wasn't true. People were closing doors on his face. Now, imagine somebody not being comfortable with people hanging up. How would he be comfortable closing doors? So one day, I remember it was mid-February, and he called me from a payphone. Of course, we didn't have cell phones at that time. He called me from a payphone and said, "Honey, I can't feel my fingers. I don't know what to do." So I said to him, "Just come home. We'll figure it out." And mind you, we had some money in the bank, right? So it wasn't a desperate situation, but it was a tough one because I was going to have a baby in a month. So to get into that was difficult. But very confidently, I told him, "Come home." He hung up. I broke down. I called my mom, and I said, in India, and I said, "I really don't know what we're doing here. And I'm in a situation I can't even come back. So I don't know. I don't know what to do." And she said, "It's okay. Just calm down. Figure out today. Tomorrow will be taken care of. It's just the time frame. Okay, this too shall pass." It's really frustrated. What started happening over the next few weeks was quite difficult. The only people we knew were the people in the mosque, and that's where we went. But as most of you know, most of you newcomers, that after the first question of, "Hi, I'm so and so," the second question people usually ask is, "So what do you do for a living? What do you do in Canada?" And I think it's probably easier for women because we have kids, and I had a little baby, so I didn't really know how that felt. But he started feeling very uncomfortable and emotional and hurt every time he said, "I'm looking for a job," or "I'm unemployed and new to Canada." So he started distancing himself. So the only social network we had, which was connected to our mosque, was cut off. He, started making excuses for going to the mosque, and then wouldn't take me. And I started getting depressed and stuck. And mind you, I was going to have a baby shortly. So it was like I had a 2-year-old and I would say a pesky 2-year-old, and a baby on the way. And I was really frustrated. In my frustration, I contacted the editor-in-chief of Mississauga News. And letters to the editor, that was I don't read it right now, but I know that was my source of venting. So I called her and I pretended to be him, and I said, "I am a newcomer to Canada. I have a master's in journalism. I have this many years of experience, and this is what the lawyer said, and I'm so excited to be here, and now I've come here, and this has been my journey, and it's been really frustrating. how can you guys and people here in Canada talk so great about Canada and, you know, the land of dreams and blah, blah. And, you know, and this is what we're struggling with. And then she started asking me, okay, so tell me about some of the articles you've written. And here I'm like literally pretending to be him, right? I've traveled to different parts of the world. I'm a music journalist, and I've worked for one of the top newspapers in Gulf News and in Pakistan. And she's like, okay, you sound really exciting, you know. How about this? Tomorrow, 10 o'clock in the morning, let's have an interview. Interview? Seriously? And she said, yeah, I'd love to meet with you. You know, we may be able to create a position for you. You said you're a music journalist, and we do get a lot of people come to Canada and a lot of musicians, and we have a lot of musicians here. Maybe you can start with covering our events and doing the entertainment part of journalism with us. All right, this was not expected. Sad, right? I pretended to be him. I was having a baby. I was not the journalist. So it was a bit awkward, and then I had to come clean. I had to say to her, listen, I'm not the journalist. It's my husband. I was really frustrated and, you know, cranky, and this is our situation. Is it okay if I send him for the interview? And she said, of course, sure. And he did. And guess what? He ended up becoming one of their writers. The story started. His career started, and he started working at Mississauga News. A lot happened after that, but that's for another time. The reason I'm sharing this with you is that, you know, without even realizing, that was my first cold call. So the social distancing, we're so blaming on Corona right now. And I keep saying this to everybody and to on the show and wherever I write or I speak, I say that job search is job search. There needs to be a focus, there needs to be a goal, there needs to be an action plan. And then there needs to be action. It hasn't changed. It hasn't changed ever. Corona or no Corona. Yes. What's changed right now is the ability to be able to meet with people one-on-one, the ability to go to events. But I'm telling you this from experience, right? I am the one that was so against having this virtual connection. And I'm the one who converted and had my first virtual event, networking speed mentoring event, if I may say, a couple weeks ago, and was so successful that I had a second one yesterday. And you know the testimonials I got? The testimonials, the feedback I got from participants and from mentors was fantastic. They could be anywhere in the world. I had people join in from Oman. So yes, I did see a message. I had somebody from Muscat. I had somebody from Abu Dhabi. I had somebody from Dubai. I had somebody from India. I had somebody from Alberta, from Vancouver. I had literally somebody from, okay, not everywhere, but, you know, different parts of the world joining in to be a part of this event, to learn more about what these mentors had to say, to discuss those challenges, to discuss those struggles and get advice, which would not have been possible had it been a face-to-face situation, right? A face-to-face event. So the most important part right now is, you know, we've been having these social distance challenges or these, you know, I don't even know what other word to say, but social distancing, I guess. when we're facing those rejections. And we've been dealing with it in different ways. We've picked up the phone to share our frustrations. We've picked up the phone to speak to people. So in times of challenges right now, specifically, be out there. And when I'm saying be out there, I'm not saying please go out, but really pick up the phone and talk to people. Don't feel like talking to people, write about it. Be visible. Comment about it. Reach out. There are, none of this, my entire journey, I've met so many mentors. I've reached out to coaches. I've taken guidance, right? And I was watching, and one of my motivational coaches, of course, that I look up to, and one day I will see him, is Tony Robbins. And Tony Robbins says that, when you start your journey for anything, don't listen to naysayers and keep away from negative people. And because the minute you start asking, oh, these are my challenges, how do I get started, or what should I do to get started, and the person themselves have not been successful or not had a journey, they're probably going to say, well, don't waste your time, don't worry about it, I've been trying it for years, it's not happened, what makes you so special? So during the beginning, stop listening to those people, stop listening to those naysayers, and start moving forward. But when you start moving forward, that's when you need a mentor. That's when you need a coach. When you decide that you're going to take action, when you decide that you're going to move forward, when you decide that your job, your career is just as important to you, then move forward. And then you're going to face challenges. Then you're going to stumble on certain things. And then you're going to need a coach to guide you. And then you ask for guidance. People are out here to serve you. People are out here because the COVID impact is so huge that everybody's stuck at home, and they don't know. They're finding ways to give back. They're finding ways to be connected. Yes, I'm talking about those leaders. There's a leader in each one of you. When, we don't fail, we learn. We don't fail because of the struggles. We fail because we decide to quit. I didn't decide to quit. I decided to take action. I decided to reach out. So yes, that first, it was out of frustration. It was out of the guilt that I had to push my husband to leave his job in Dubai and come here because I needed us to feel that stability, to live in this neutral country. Don't get me wrong. Of course he wanted it, but I wanted it more than he wanted it. So I made that decision, right? Answering that question all the time, was this worth it? Today, if I were to look back and say, was it worth it? Yeah, damn right. It was worth it. It was tough, but it taught me a lot. It moved me forward. So I'm asking you today, are you going to make that goal? Are you going to pick up that phone? Are you going to reach out? Are you going to make yourself visible? Are you going to accept that there is a challenge first? If the answer is yes, get started. Stop waiting. Nobody's going to come and pull you out. We can only guide. We can only share. We can only coach. At the end of the day, you have to make that decision. Oh, look at the time. 1:56. And we're almost almost the end of the 30 minutes Monday with Meena. Do you have any questions for me? Write in the comment section. Reach out to me. Today you're deciding that you want to take an action. Today you're deciding that you want to move forward, and reach out. Another thing. Yes, we want to move forward. And, you're going to hear all of us, coaches, leaders, mentors, everybody say to you that, put yourself out there. Start talking to people. Like I just told you, be visible. But being visible does not mean selling. If you reach out to somebody and say that, hey, I noticed that you're hiring. I'm looking. This is my resume. You've just asked a question that requires a yes/no answer, right? Sure, we're hiring. This is the job link, or this is the posting link. Apply, right? Or we're not hiring, or I'm not the person in charge. You didn't build that connection with me strong enough that I'm going to say, you know what? You have great skills. Send me a resume. Apply anyways, but send me a resume. I'm going to see how I can refer you within my company. Why would people refer you within the company? People will refer you within their companies because A, they build that connection with you. You took the time to do that. And two, or B, because you reached out to them. You were genuine, right? They want to help. At the end of the day, most companies, if you get the job, they get a bonus, right? So if you get the job, they get a bonus. If you get the job and you screw up, sorry, it is Monday, but you mess up, they also get questioned, right? So unless you've shown your authenticity to that person that you're reaching out to, why should they show that care back for you? Good question. Want you to think about it. How come nobody has any questions for me? This is not nice. So many of you email me and ask me for time to talk to me one-on-one. Why don't you come to this show where I'm opening my heart out and ask me those questions? Eid Mubarak, everybody. Ma'am, it's so good to see you. I'm going to go through this. Let me see. Thank you, Sina. I'm glad, Meva, that this was a good training. Stephanie, thank you so much. I'm excited here too. Tatiksha, hello. Okay, nobody has any questions. So here you go. When you reach out to me and ask me for time to talk to you, or time to discuss things with you, maybe you can come to my show and put a comment. Or when you watch this recorded version, put a comment. We are live streaming on YouTube as well. And I do want to increase our subscribers. So please join me on YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Push that alert button so that you actually get notified every time we post videos. Our videos from networking session, for those that stayed all the way to the end, I want to tell you that each and every mentor shared a tip. Each and every mentor shared some wisdom at the end. So if you missed it, you may want to subscribe to our channel, and you may want to push that alert button, because my team is currently working on editing that video and posting that part of the mentor advice, and also, of course, our testimonials. Diana has an interesting question. What did You tell yourself when you decided to make that phone call. How do you sell? How did I assume that you're asking me what motivated me? My husband's frustration motivated me. I didn't make that phone call to get a job. I made that phone call because I was frustrated seeing him broken down like that. You know, one thing about our human nature, what makes someone succeed in life? When you find something you care about, right? When you find something you care about, you're motivated to make a difference. And we are always more motivated and much stronger when we have to make that difference or that change for someone we care about. If the challenges that you're facing, think about it. If your sibling was facing that challenge, if your child was facing that challenge, what would you tell them? What advice would you tell them? When you look back, let's say you've come so far in your career, what would you tell your 20-year-old self? When you look back, what would you tell that person or yourself before? Are you going to tell them, yeah, stay in that rut? Or are you going to tell them, let's make a difference? Don't wait in that space. Push, move forward. Change is constant. Change is that one thing that we are sure going to happen. What change? Now that's up to us. If that change is, we will pivot now. Whatever it is that you need to do. You may want to study. You may want to upgrade. You may want to work on a project. You may want to, I don't know, make 10 new connections. Whatever it is that you want to do, now is the time. Think about how many times you say to yourself, oh man, I don't have time. I am so busy. I'm constantly working. I'm constantly doing this. I'm constantly doing that. You know, Facebook has this funny thing where they send you memories. So Facebook sent me memories for today. There's so many interesting memories. 2008, I was in Dubai celebrating my brother's wedding. 2015, I was doing a Kickstarter project for this book. Do you know what? I feel that one of the reasons why this book has not been published, and I know my coach is probably listening to me right now because he's been pushing me to bring this book out. When I accepted finally yesterday that, during the event, I said, Mondays with Meena is going to be me uncovering these chapters. It was really difficult for me to read that first chapter because that first chapter today that I shared with you is only a bit of that first chapter. It was because I'm looking and reliving that journey. It was not pleasant. It was filled with a lot of challenges. And even as I'm talking to you, I'm getting emotional. Because one thing people will tell you, including my kids, mom is a drama queen. Yeah, I carry my heart on my sleeve. I am not afraid to talk. But that journey was really difficult. And it's very difficult to talk about it. And that's probably why I wrote it, but I kept it to myself. And it's difficult for me to share. Today I've taken the courage and I'm going to share it with all of you. And every week I'm going to share one story, either mine, my family, or the numerous other stories that have connected together in this journey and made it so enriching and so powerful, and their journeys. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, as I share this with you today, I'm also making you a promise. I'm going to share one story with you every single week. But instead of just sending me messages asking me for time to talk to me or to meet with me, come to one of our shows. Do you know how much we have planned for you this week? So Wednesday, yeah, I know I'm 7 minutes over time, but if you're still connected, I appreciate that. So this week, after I close today, on Wednesday evening, as you all know, it's the last call. From 6 to 7 p.m., I bring to you two of my own coaches. So this week is Biju and Sina coming on live at 6 o'clock in our show, The Last Call. And they're going to share with you. I know that they're fighting on the topic, so let them figure it out, and I will post the new flyer with the topic. But they're going to come to you and talk to you, and that's your opportunity to speak to those leaders and ask questions that you're struggling with. Join us. How else are we going to know that you're listening? I mean, I'm saying it out loud. I have 12 people watching me right now, whereas I've got 100 emails sitting asking me for time. I'm here talking to you. Come and talk to me. So Biju and Sina will be live on call on LinkedIn Live. Come join them. Another thing that we're doing at Destination CEO, we are doing a masterclass on resumes and LinkedIn on this Saturday, coming Saturday, which is May 30th, from 12 to 2. And our guest or our facilitator is our very own Destination CEO graduate, Mayuri Ramesh, who is also a recruiter. And she's going to share a bit about her journey and how she got started. But she's going to teach you the basics and the in-depth of how to create a strong, ATS-friendly, yes, applicant tracking system, friendly resume for, drumroll, for recruiters. The focus is going to be for recruiters. How to connect with recruiters. How should your resume look like? What are the keywords? How long your resume should look like? Yeah, the myth about 1 page, 2 page, 3 page, 10 pages, all of those. How many pages your resume needs to be? Right? How should your resume and your LinkedIn be different? So to learn about all of that and to get in, 2 things you have to do. 1, subscribe to my YouTube channel, or rather Destination CEO's YouTube channel, and follow us on LinkedIn. Show up. So if you show up on Wednesday evening, last call with Sina, I will share with you the link to register for Mayuri's class on Saturday. We believe at Destination CEO, you are the CEO of your destiny. And before I go, guess what? A couple weeks ago, we had snow in Toronto. Today, there is a heat warning. Yes, it's going to get hot. It's already actually pretty hot. So am I asking you to go out in the sun? As far as you keep the social distancing, because we don't want to, rise up the curve. But remember, social distancing is not only because of COVID. If you're feeling the pains of social distancing because of your job search challenges, I'm only a show away. So reach out to me. And one final question. Annette, you said, given COVID-19, what is the future of student recruitment jobs in Canada? I know, Annette, that many jobs have been put on hold or frozen in terms of student recruitment internships, but that doesn't mean they're not there. You're going to need a job regardless of you being a student or not a student. What are you going to do differently to be able to reach out to employers that really need your help right now? Because, yeah, employers need your help. They are facing challenges within their businesses. They need people like you to reach out to solve those challenges, to solve those struggles. And if you can offer a little help, it will go a long way. Trust me. So once again, this is Meena Dawani with Destination CEO, your super fan. I shared a lot today. I'll share a lot more. Thank you, Biju, for pushing me out of my comfort zone. I hope you like this show. And I'd love to hear I'd love to hear from you. Put in some comments. Thanks. Have a wonderful start of this